Good afternoon, everyone. Buckle up. This is your captain speaking. We're getting ready for takeoff. Today, we'll be flying the direction of the Egyptian pyramids of Giza. Yes, our destination today is Egypt. We'll be visiting the pyramids. So, I guess it's all over YouTube. It's been for the last couple of days. The amazing discoveries they discovered underneath the pyramids. So let's show you a picture of what they think they discovered. Now this is a rendering. The first picture I'm going to show you is just a rendering of what they think they discovered. Oh, okay. Now let's go to the SAR radar of what they actually saw. Okay, you see it? Okay. Now let's go back to the 3D renderings. We're going to go from what the radar sees to what they're showing you. Okay, big difference. I don't understand how you can go from this radar image to this. But I guess in the radar image you could see pillars of some sort. There's a special radar they're using. There's all kinds of YouTube videos on this topic. My take is going to be different. I want to bring something to the table that the other YouTubers aren't bringing. I'm not going to sit here and repeat what they've already said. You can go and watch all kinds of YouTube videos on the pyramids of Giza and what they discovered. I'm not here to repeat what they're saying. Not at all. Because everybody's asking the question, who built the pyramids? Okay, so I'm going to continue showing images of the Egyptian pyramids on the screen. Here, like I said, you can see the 3D rendering. And now we're going to see the Sphinx. Okay, now we're going to take you to another rendering of what they think is underneath the pyramids. And here's another one. And now we're going to show you how tall it actually is with a person standing next to it. You can see the ruins here. Okay. Now that should give you an indication. Here's another one. That should give you an indication of how big these pyramids are. Now, we're just going to show you a couple more images here of the pyramids. New SAR scans reveal massive structures. Massive underground structure. Okay. Now let's see a photo of how tall compared to the other buildings around the world. Just how deep underground, how tall these pillars are, as you can see in this photo. Okay. So here's another image of the 3D rendering. Okay. Now let's talk about the Roman Colosseum. I'm going somewhere with this, I promise you. I'm going somewhere with this. Because I have a theory about who built the pyramids. It's not just the pyramids and what's underneath the pyramids. Like I said, all kinds of videos on it. I'm here to give a slightly different take that maybe you have not heard. Okay? So, let's go to the Roman Colosseum. Here's a picture of the Roman Colosseum. Okay. See it? Okay. Now I'm going to show you a picture of the Roman Colosseum in its glory. I asked AI because I said, look, they had sea battles in it. It had a retractable ceiling. So here's a photo that AI created for me. A retractable ceiling with a sea battle. And it's not accurate 100%, I get it, but historically you can look this up. Yes, they had sea battles in the Colosseum. What's this got to do with the pyramids? I'm going somewhere. Look how immaculate it was. You can go do a Google search how immaculate the Roman Colosseum was. Yes, they had gladiator fights, but somehow they're able to fill it up with water, have sea battles, has a retractable ceiling, then somehow drain the water, fill it up with sand, and have gladiator fights. How they did that, well, I got a theory about that. Trust me, I'm going somewhere. This is going to relate to the pyramids of Giza and what they discovered. It's not the fact that what they discovered goes kilometers under the ground. Everyone's asking the question, who did it? That's the real question. The real question isn't what's there. They think it's some big library of knowledge of some sort. Some ancient library where they kept a lot of text, a lot of knowledge that we'd like to have. Does that remind you of something? Like the Garden of Eden? Yeah. This unknown knowledge. We'd like to possess this technology that we think we can't possess today. So you're still seeing, this will help me because I'm going to use iMovie and hopefully we can do a split screen. You're seeing the Roman Colosseum in its glory with a sea battle and a retractable ceiling. Now let's talk about Notre Dame. Yes, before the fire. The Cathedral of Notre Dame. This is the first photo. Look how detailed that building is. Here is another photo of Notre Dame. Very detailed, very detailed, very... It's just mind-boggling. Here's a few more photos. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. Look how beautiful Notre Dame is. Okay, so now you've seen the photos of Notre Dame, and I'm going to continue to leave the photos because I'm going somewhere with this. And you have to ask yourself, for a society, even when this country was founded, there's a conspiracy going on here, and how can I best describe it? Where I'm going. Now, we all know that these cathedrals were built with incredible detail for a society that couldn't read or write. When most of society back then couldn't add 2 plus 2 or read or write, so we think. We're assuming we're so arrogant we think with all this technology we're smarter than the ancient peoples. What if I was to tell you, this is my theory, it's a theory, an opinion, not a fact. Okay, I'm not the only one that thinks this way, because I got this theory from somebody else. His name is Timothy Alberino. He wrote the book Birthright, not a sponsor, but he also got that theory from someone else as well. I don't know where it originated, but this is my take. The further we get away from Adama, in Sumerian text, Adam and Eve, Adam is known as Adama, and Hebrew text is known as Adam. Okay, so let's go with Adam or Adama, whatever you want to call him, name him, same name. The further away we get from him, the weaker our DNA gets. It's called replica defading. So basically, we're making a carbon copy of a carbon copy of a carbon copy. Every time you make a copy of a copy, errors creep up. Mistakes. What I'm saying is, the people of old It wasn't aliens that built the pyramids. What I'm saying is humans built it. Yes, humans. That's right. Ancient people, we built the pyramids of Giza and everything underneath it. What I'm saying is the people of old were very intelligent, very talented. You not only have to think about the architects and engineers who may have designed the ancient buildings like Notre Dame. Notice how detailed Notre Dame is. Look at our cities today. Take up old photos of ancient cities, whether it's the city of Atlantis, Rome, Greece. Notice how beautiful the buildings were. Any photo, just go do a Google search. I'm not gonna put the photos on here because I didn't think about that, but you can do a Google search. Look how beautiful ancient Rome, Greece, all those cities of old. The buildings. Look at Washington, D.C., how it seems to imitate that. But when was Washington, D.C. laid out and built? That's a whole story in and of itself. And you look at today, we think we're so advanced. Why is it a lot of our buildings look like damn shoe boxes? Look at McDonald's. Have you been to McDonald's? There's no character in the buildings. They look like they're thrown together. They look like shoe boxes and rectangles and just, they're ugly as fuck. Look at our cities. Look how ugly they are. With our telephone wires hanging. We still need hunks of metal to get from point A to point B. We can't just teleport wherever we want. Our cities look ugly today. There's an ugliness about them. You take a portrait of a city today, with all the fast food joints, McDonald's, Sonic, Burger King, all our towns look the same. There's a sameness to things. You just look at that and you're going, why do our cities and towns look ugly? There are a few buildings that have great architecture, don't get me wrong. In Dubai, they've got some immaculate buildings. We still build immaculate buildings, but not like we used to. We just don't. We're losing our creativity and everything. So, the people of old were intelligent. The people of today, our DNA is broken down. Because we're a copy of a copy of a copy. The further away we get from Adama, the weaker we get. The dumber we get. They're right. We are living in idiocracy. Heading for Wall-E. They're correct in that. So that's my take on the pyramids of Giza. That we are getting away from Adama. Adam. We're getting dumber and weaker. We're losing our cognitive and creative abilities. They had advanced technology back then. There is another theory that kind of goes along with this, and it's in the book of Genesis. I want you to look this up in your King James Bible. Go to Genesis chapter 1 and go to verse 27. You need to find it for me. I put it up on the screen, but I might try to when I edit this. And it talks about he created man and woman, gave them dominion over all the earth. Yeah. And he told them to replenish the earth. Now that's an important word. That's in the King James, the 1611 King James Bible, for all you literalists out there that say, well, I only trust King James. If it's not in the King James Bible, it doesn't exist. It's right there in your King James Bible. It's either there or it isn't there. Right? You said it yourself. So, Genesis 1:27, it tells them to replenish the earth and repopulate it. So what happened to the population before then? Adam is not the first man. That's right there in 1:27. That's right there. Matter of fact, the men and women he created in Genesis chapter 1 are not the same as Adam and Eve, who were created from the dust of the earth. The ones he created in chapter 1 were created in his likeness, in his image. Now, I'm not saying Adam wasn't, but that's a different creation story. Why do you have two different creation stories? Now, trust me, this relates to the pyramids of Giza in every way. Because I'm telling you the story of maybe those pyramids came from the civilization of the past. Whenever civilization was here before Genesis, there was a city. There was population centers. And there could have been a natural disaster, a major war. We don't know. Maybe the pyramids are left over from the civilization of the distant past, the earth of the past, before Genesis. That's a theory, an opinion. It's right there in Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. It's right there. You can't deny it. It either says it or it doesn't. It tells them to replenish and repopulate the earth. Now remember, when the Old Testament was written, there were no chapters and verses. So why would you retell the creation story? Why would you tell it 2 times? I pick up a Hardy Boys book or Nancy Drew. You're not repeating yourself. It's true. You pick up any novel, any book, it doesn't repeat itself when it tells a story. It doesn't matter what the book is. I'm just using Hardy Boys as an example. I grew up reading them as a kid. Guys would read Hardy Boys and other girls would read Nancy Drew. I tend to lean towards Hardy Boys. I'm a guy. So, again, it's right there, folks. Genesis 1, verse 27, it's so clear. It's so clear. And you have to believe. Now, that's just a theory. Now, the other argument is the ancient pyramids were built by aliens. Now, everyone's asked me to give my take on UFOs and aliens. Well, here it is. I'm going to give it to you. Now, I took astronomy in school. Where do I start with this? Okay. Carl Sagan, he was an astronomer. He referred to Earth as a tiny blue dot. Now, Earth is located in what is known as the Goldilocks zone. That's what they call it. As far as aliens, okay. We are the only species. I'm trying to go somewhere with this. I'm trying to figure out where to start. I don't have show notes. I didn't really plan this out that well. You know me, I don't follow a script. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that's part of who I am. But I'd had an idea of what I was going to talk about anyways. So, yeah. Let's start with, we are the only species of all the life on planet Earth. Man is the only one that stands upright. We're not on all fours. We are the only creature on the planet that stands upright, that walks on its 2 feet. It has 2 arms with the right number of fingers to build and create things with. I'm going somewhere with this. There's millions of species on the planet, but out of the millions of species, we are it on this planet. As far as being able, there's a scientific word I heard, I forget what it was, but we're the only ones that stand upright. And we have rational thought. We are aware of our existence. We are aware that we're going to die. We have an awareness of life and death, good and evil. The animals in the animal kingdom don't have that. We do. We are it. And that's just on the planet Earth. Now let's look at, you're asking if aliens built it. I'm going somewhere with this. So, are there aliens out there? Are there Klingons and Romulans? I'm a Trekkie. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I, of all people, would love to believe there's life in outer space. But not life as we know it. Maybe amoebas, maybe bacteria, or fungus, but not human life. Not the kind of life that is aware of life and death, who happen to have 10 fingers, just the right amount of fingers to lift things, build things, are aware of heaven, hell, eternity, life and death, right and wrong. We have that. But the rest of the animals, as far as we know, in the animal kingdom, don't. We have a written language. Now, here's another argument. Now, you look at the total eclipse, right? The solar and lunar eclipse. Now, you have to ask yourself, what's really amazing, the sun, moon, and earth are exactly where they need to be for life on this planet to exist. Our sun is a type 2 dwarf star. Now, Carl Sagan called us a tiny blue dot. You have to ask yourself, why would aliens travel to a tiny blue dot? Would it be like an anthill? There could be an anthill on my property somewhere. I wouldn't know. I don't know that there's an anthill that exists out there. Maybe. But I haven't received a signal from them. I'm not aware of their existence. Maybe they exist. Maybe they don't. What if I go out there on my property and find there's no anthill? I wasted my trip. I want you to think about it in that respect. I have several acres out here. I can't see that tiny little anthill down there by the creek. How am I supposed to know about it? They're supposed to send a signal? And look at the total eclipse. Did you know that the Earth is the only place in our known galaxy where you can witness a total solar and lunar eclipse? You can see a partial eclipse from an asteroid, but the Earth is exactly where it needs to be, and this is the only place in the galaxy where you can witness a full eclipse. Nowhere else in the galaxy is that possible. It's just perfect. The sun is exactly where it needs to be. The exact size it needs to be. The moon is exactly the size and distance it needs to be. And the Earth is the exact size and distance it needs to be. And it's tilted on its axis just right. And we spin around the sun, and we got the other planets and planetary bodies to protect us from asteroids and stuff. Meteors and whole kinds of... I mean, every once in a while an asteroid does break our atmosphere and burn up and land. But we are protected. We got these planetary bodies that spin around the sun just right as a shield to protect our planet. You gotta wonder about that. So, in order for life to exist somewhere else, intelligent life, who are aware of life and death, right and wrong, good and evil, and happen to have the right number of fingers to be able to lift and build and construct things, you have to ask, what are the mathematical chances that there'll be another planetary body with a sun and moon exactly like ours? Because of gravity, you got issues of gravity. You got all kinds of issues dealing with if the sun were any bigger, any smaller, if the Earth were... You got a whole kinds of issues. So everything has to be exactly like we have it here. Exactly. for that to happen because of gravity and all kinds of other issues. Are there other planetary bodies with water? Absolutely. That's been discovered. At least they think. In theory, we don't know for a fact that there's water out there. We haven't gone there and said, is there water here? We think there's water. We theorize there's water. We have our telescopes that can see things, and we can identify if a planet's got water. Here's another issue that aliens would have coming all the way over here to cause trouble, like Independence Day or V, right? Here's another problem. Why would they exhaust their resources economically, militarily, cause trouble for what? Water? They could get water from another planetary body with no population. They don't have to exhaust their men and resources or travel this distance. They have to know we exist. Here's another problem. The speed of light. Our radio and TV signals. They have to be able to pick up our radio and TV signals. Think about how close they would have to be just to pick up our first transmission. Think how far away the nearest star is. It could take them hundreds of years to get here. And they're picking up transmissions from 80 years ago, 90 years ago at best. They have to know we exist. So you have to figure out how far our transmissions would have traveled. And we also got Voyager out there transmitting. It's also sending signals. So even if you used Voyager to also send signals, the speed of light is 186,000 miles per second or 300,000 kilometers per second. So you got to think about the speed of light. And you got to think about a lot of things. There's a lot of things, a lot of problems with space travel. Why would aliens come all this way? If I were an alien species and I exhausted my resources just to visit here, I'm on my way here and I pick up a TikTok transmission, I turn around and go home. Oh, fuck this. Look at these humans. They're not very smart. It's like, why would I come here? Why would I come to Earth? I mean, a TikTok transmission, I'm on my way back. These humans are barbaric. Oh my god, they're stupid. They're not worth my time to visit. And they're not going to share their technology with us. That would destroy us. Even if they were come here to observe, we're not worth observing, really. To them, we're barbarians. Then they have to first they have to realize we're here. They have to be close enough to pick up our transmissions, even our earliest transmissions from the 20th century, or whenever we started transmitting. They have to know we're here. How would they know? How would I know there's an anthill down there by the creek? I don't. I could walk down to the creek hoping to find an anthill, and there's no anthill. I wasted my time. So, did aliens build the pyramids? No such thing as aliens, unfortunately. We built those pyramids. Here's another problem with space travel. Why I don't think aliens built the pyramids. My answer to the UFO dilemma. I understand. People have been seeing UFOs for years. But here's another problem. Just physics. Just the laws of physics and space travel. When Captain Picard says, "Make it so," and they jump into warp factor 6, why isn't anybody on the bridge of the Enterprise wearing seatbelts? Why Captain Picard and Commander Riker should be splashed against that wall. You got G-forces working here. When you jump into warp factor 6, boom! You're like, boom! You're not wearing seatbelts. Why isn't anybody wearing seatbelts? Well, we got this so-called technology. They don't need to wear seatbelts to protect them from the G-forces. Yeah, right. Okay. So then here's another problem with space travel. It's not just the G-forces and velocity. You got space dust. If your ship is traveling fast enough, one grain of sand could rip your ship apart. Now you think, Jeremiah, you're full of it. No, space is a vacuum. Now you can look this up too. You got space debris, a little ounce of dust. If your ship is traveling, it hits your ship. Well, our ships have deflector shields and force fields. Our ships don't. So maybe aliens have developed that technology. You still got time and speed of light you got to deal with. You've got space dust. You've got just problems with space travel just to get here. And the number one issue, they have to know we're here. There you go. As far as space dust, you want to liken it to a straw going through a telephone pole during a hurricane or tornado. You've seen pictures of that. I did when I was a kid, and I was like blown away. A straw? I mean, hay, not a drinking straw, but a straw as far as hay, wheat, just going through a telephone pole. So I've seen pictures of that, and that's what space travel is like. So there's a lot of problems with space travel. There really are. As a religious person, when Jesus died on the cross, he died for mankind and no one else. Jesus can only live and die one time. The Satan can only be put into the bottomless pit one time. There can only be one tribulation period. One Mary, one Joseph, one David. What happened biblically, whether it's in the Bible or in the Quran, can only happen one time. I'm just saying. So as far as the pyramids of Giza, did aliens build it? No such thing as aliens. I would love to believe in aliens. I really would. I'm a Trekkie. I love Star Trek. I love Captain Picard. But unfortunately, scientifically, no. So where are they coming from? The aliens that people are seeing, they have to be interdimensional. That explains their ability to appear and disappear at will. My late wife used to ask, where do they go when we don't see them? Where are they? They have to land somewhere, don't they? Don't they have a mothership? Why isn't SETI picked up any signals? Yeah, the SETI program. Why haven't the aliens reached out and talked to us? Some people, the conspiracy people, say they have, but not publicly. And some witnesses claim they smell sulfur. That's hell. That's hellfire. That's what they're smelling. Why are they during alien abductions so fascinated with human reproduction? That's another topic in and of itself. But I'm just throwing some things out there. And why it can't be aliens that built the pyramids. It was people. And I think we're getting less and less intelligent with each passing generation. That's my theory. As far as who built the pyramids, we did. Theory number 2 is they were built by the civilization of the ancient past. Before Genesis. Chapter 1, verse 27, look it up. It says to replenish the earth. Somewhere in the book of Jeremiah mentions the creation story too. The guy talks about how there were cities. Yeah, cities. Before Adam. It's somewhere in Jeremiah. I have to look it up. You'll have to look it up. There's another... Where were you when the foundations of the earth were being laid? And it goes something like that. The guy says, I saw birds, I saw cities. cities before Genesis. Yeah, so something happened in the distant past. Maybe those pyramids are what remains of the distant past. Maybe they were put there by another civilization before Genesis. Theory, an opinion. That's all it is. I don't know. So I don't have all the answers. I wished I did, but I don't. And that's my take on the pyramids of Giza. Who built them? We did. Did aliens build them? No. No such thing. That's been debunked. I'm trying my best to debunk it. How, as far as do those pillars and stuff and what's under there, even I don't know. All we saw was a rendering based on a radar signal that we got, what they think is underneath the pyramids. No one's actually gone there yet. We're seeing these images, and we're trying to recreate it and interpret what we're seeing. What we're seeing is interpretations and theories. Nobody really knows. Is there a secret technology, secret knowledge we don't know about? We don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I just wanted to shoot this video today and talk to you. I mean, yeah. I had to say this. I had to say what I had to say because someone in my live stream says, well, Jeremiah, I may do a live stream version of this yet because it'll be easier for me to put pictures on the screen. I'll add some more photos because using live stream, using StreamYard, or if I use OBS, so next week I'll be learning how to use OBS. It'll make editing so much easier. I don't have to spend 5 hours a day editing through iMovie and other programs and just use a simple program like StreamYard, OBS, and do split screen, screencasting, stuff like that. Simple. By the time Lance gets out here to, I'll pay him for his time, even if he donates it. By the time he gets here, and when he's done with me, I'll have knowledge and skills I didn't have before. And by the time he gets here, I've learned some of those skills before he gets here. So, my channel you're going to see some improvement. I'm going to pick up some editorial skills and be able to do a few more things I couldn't do before. And this one's being done with iMovie. I'm going to insert the photos. At least it's a photo that I'm inserting. And I tried doing, I'm going to rewatch it so I know what photos to insert where. I was careful when I started the video what I was talking about, so I know, okay, I'm talking about this. I need to insert this photo in this scene. Photos are easy to insert even with split screen. Just duplicate it for as long as I need, and it's not as time consuming as doing a video, a B-roll. Just adding photos, that's not hard. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and this is I may do a live stream edition of this yet sometime in the next week. I gotta find somebody out there that is well versed with these pyramids, what's underneath the pyramids, and someone that knows what they're talking about, who's way smarter than me on Egyptology or whatever you want to call it. I'm not versed in this. I have to look things up like everybody else. But I'd like to bring somebody on who has more knowledge about this. Absolutely. Way smarter than me on this issue. So, again, I want to thank everybody for watching. I think I said everything I wanted to say. Because I don't want to repeat myself or ramble on and ramble on. We're already at the 40 minutes. So, you know what I'm getting ready to do, right? Now that I've done my spin on the pyramids, kind of did a spin on UFOs. I did my best to describe things. I should have made an outline so it'll keep me focused. But you know me, I don't do scripts. I just shoot the shit. You know me. But I'm glad I did a different take that you're not heard of before from other YouTubers. I didn't want to go into detail and repeat everything that they've already said. Now I want to do something completely different. So, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, share. You know the routine. Every YouTuber, they hit that notification bell. And, same spin. I forget to do that in these videos. I also want to thank all my subscribers. I want to thank all of you for watching this to the end. Even if you know, I mean, if you want to send a super thanks, they are appreciated. But also watching this video to the end is a great way of supporting me, and it's cost you nothing. Just sit and watch. It's free. So thanks for watching. You know I'm getting ready to do, right? I'm finally going to do it. I'm getting ready to push the button. It's hard to say au revoir. So, a gratin. I'm pushing the button. Here I go. It's only you. Sit back for me, babe. It's only you. Don't need a damn way. It's only you. Don't need a damn. It's only you. It's really good. I promise.